Hey there, how there, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter welcoming you to yet another time travel tennis tournament. We are doing the final day of the final ladies qualifier for the Grand Ladies Tour, which will start sometime in 2026. I don't know when per se, but the fact of the matter is that um, we'll be getting ready to go. 56 ladies try to qualify for 16 spots. Well, 24 spots, excuse me, in this whole sectional. It was supposed to be a 48 lady tournament. Top 16 seeds get a bye into the second round and the round of 32, and then it's basically when you're in. Unfortunately, the game wouldn't let me do 48 players, so I had to do 56, and I had 8 ladies: Lindquist, Sevastova, Pudinseva, JD Bouchard, Fairbank, Larson, Michelle, and Bickle in to try to be called spoilers. Only 2 spoilers won: Pudinseva and Jeannie Bouchard. Well, Pudinseva beat Roberta Finchy, ruining her, and of course Finchy was the one in 2015 who ruined Serena's Grand Slam, and Jeannie Bouchard, who beat Peggy Michelle in 3 sets, like her fellow spoiler. So the seeds would be from 9 to 16 would have to play. Fortunately for the seeds, except for Ponchue and Mary Jo Fernandez, those two, they actually lost. Savarova beat Shui and Reynolds beat Fernandez. Then in round 32, it's basically when you're in. If you win, you got one of 16 spots. However, there would be 8 wildcard spots per thing for 24. Now, the men have 16 times 6. So 6 different tours for the men times 16 is 96. And I wanted to make sure the ladies were equal. So instead of 16, I'm going to add 24, which means there's 8 wild cards. You lose your round of 32 match, you have a 50% chance of getting in as a wild card. Practically, if you lose by 3 sets instead of 2, if you take it to a third set and lose, you get rewarded for that. We do know 4 wild cards, 4 ladies who got in. Patty Schneider and Robin Ebbern got in, even though they lost in 3 sets. Schneider to Ostapenko and Ebbern to Sloane Stevens. They lost. They got in because they took it to 6-4 in the third set. Svitolina also lost 6-4 in the third set to Sean Vareva. However, many of the ladies who were in the Lady C qualifier also were in the qualifier in the 2020 season. That means that you could double qualify. And since Svitolina actually did qualify for the 2021, she ends up losing and being eliminated. Pudinseva was a spoiler too, and and lost to Yankovic. But let's face facts. Pudinseva was going to be screwed anyway because she lost. She qualified through the 2020 anyway. Muguruza also played in the 2020, and she also Muguruza also qualified through 2020. So her loss to Jeannie Bouchard actually didn't matter because she's in anyway, but she can't double qualify. But Jeannie Bouchard's match against Muguruza was another thing. Now Bouchard was not supposed to win her first round match. Well, it was against Michelle, and then Muguruza. She was supposed to lose to Muguruza. The only problem now is that Jeannie Bouchard is in the third round when she was supposed to be a spoiler. So they announced that because Mary Jo Fernandez was a seed and did go down in 3 sets, Mary Jo Fernandez will technically get one of the wildcard spots. The 4th wildcard spot that we know is Andrea Temzavari from Hungary, who lost to Pennetta 4-6, 6-3, 7-5. However, because Temzavari lost 7-5, which is like basically past the 6 game system, Temzavari gets a bit of a pass and gets her spot in the Grand Ladies Tour herself. Kerber, I don't know if Kerber made it in 2020, didn't she? Well, Kerber tried to qualify for 2020 and lost. And then Kerber, for the second straight time, lost. She got taken out by her fellow German Cody Kilsch, which was huge because, Kerber was supposed to qualify, and then, unlike 2020, she would have qualified. But Kerber, strike 2, you're out. So Cody Kilsch takes down Kerber. Angie Rwanska did not qualify through 2020, so she's okay. Maddie Keys lost to Whittingstall, but because Maddie Keys qualified for the tournament anyhow in 2020, she's got a spot. So Maddie Keys losing, she's not eligible for a wildcard spot. So we have 4 wildcard spots. We do have 4 more matches. And it's not like, okay, you lose, you're safe. There, Petra Kvitova is the only one of the 8 ladies, even like Sebakova, Errani, Stosur, Schiaffoni, to be in both 2020 and the Ladies C. So Petra Kvitova, who actually did she qualify? Yeah, Kvitova qualified from the 2020 in 2020, but Kvitova actually can improve her standing. So another wrinkle to this is the fact that if you win this tournament, like we play round of 16 throughout, like it's magic. Because if you win this tournament, you're guaranteed in the first Grand Ladies Tour, no matter what your standing is, to go from 1 to 4. So you could be a 1 seed, 2 seed, 3 seed, or 4 seed if you win your tournament. If you take runner up, you go 5, 6, 7, 8. If you take third place, pretty much the best seed or whatever, you're 9, 10, 11, 12. Or fourth place, you're 13, 14, 15, 16. That's what we do. So Kvitova faces Houghton, Sherman versus Savarova. Well, Czechia. So Savarova's match against Sherman gets to today for Friday. Well, Wednesday and Thursday, their matches. Simakova's match against Skivoni got moved to Friday because, Slovakia. And just to pick the 4-person bracket, they put Stosur Errani to do it Friday. So we will start with Stosur Errani because it's not Czechia. Sam Stosur qualified automatically. Well, she made it to this round. Sara Errani had to win to qualify. Stosur won the Dutch Trophy in week 27. So in Holland, she beat Punseva, Larson, Frida, Errani, and Buxton to get this far and to automatically qualify for this tournament. Sara Errani, a pair of finals, Dallas and the Italian Open, like in her own country. Errani, pretty good, 10 matches below 500, but she never won a Grand Slam singles match, which is pathetic. She had to beat Marion Bartoli to get her spot into the Spire.
Quiet, please. Errani to serve. First game. Play.
So practically, if any of the 4 losers of the 4 second round matches go down like 6-4 or higher, they are definitely in. The only one with the problem is Kvitova. Otherwise, we're safe. That's houses, I think.
15, love. $30, love. 40, love. 40, 15. 40, 30. Out. Cheers. Advantage, Stosur. Cheers. Out. Advantage, Stosur. Cheers. Out. Out. Advantage, Stosur. Game, Stosur. First game.
We had 8 minutes to get one game through.
15, love. 30, love. 40 love.
Out.
Game, Stozer. Stozer leads 2 games to love, first set.
Out.
15 love. $30 love.
Out. Out.
30-15.
Out.
40-15. Game, Errani. Stozer leads 2 games to 1, first set.
So those are up 2-1 through 15 minutes. Did Stozer survive? The answer is yes, she did. 6-2, 1-6, 6-1. So Stozer does her job. She was not in the 2020 thing. I thought she was in 2020. To be honest with you. But I guess not. So Stozer qualifies for the Grand Ladies Tour. Errani's 6-1 score. She'll actually have to hang on. She's not eliminated by any proxy. She's not eliminated. She did take it to 3 sets. So let's see. Seva hasn't qualified by in third set, but she already qualified through. Uh, is Errani the only one? Well, Goss is the only one. Well, Goss and Errani have taken it to 3 sets, but lost. Right? Yeah, Kerber took it 3 sets. No, Kerber took it. No, Kerber's not out. Kerber still has a shot at 6-3, and I think she's in. Yeah, Kerber's in. Kerber 6-3. Yes, she's in. Yep, they just said that Angelique Kerber can compete. They actually cut her out, but then they're like, no, 6-3 in the third set. She still has a shot. So they have given her the wild card. So they've given Kerber the wild card. So that's 5 at 6-3. Yep. And everyone who's, well, Goss is next in line at 6-2, Errani 6-1. So Goss and Errani are going to have to hang on. Yeah, Goss and Errani will have to hang on. They do have to name a wild card competitor, and that is going to be Kerber. So Kerber will qualify, actually. So that's good news for her. Let's see. Kunja lost in straight sets. Maddox Sands has lost in straight sets. So, well, okay. We have to cut someone, I think, right? Ramon Scott got taken out in straight sets. And so did Maddie Keys, but that doesn't matter. So there's still 3 ladies at the. Yep. So, well, actually, Ronnie would go next. Ronnie and Goss would get in because they lost in 3 sets 6-2, 6-1. So, who gets. Well, right now, there's a situation here about Jeannie Bouchard. So, let's hang on. Okay, our next match is Sibakova versus Skivoni. Both of them had to qualify. Like, Skivoni still had to play a qualifying match. Sibakova. She won the Swiss Open. Cha-cha-cha. So she won the Swiss Open, beating Lena Rice, Will Pascual, Sevastova, Shonvareva, Hanchakova, and Spitalina to qualify for this Grand Ladies Tour automatically. And in Paris, she beat Stozer, Diaz, Schifoni, and Tarenko. But lost to Mugu. So yeah, she last played at the Australian Open because you're not allowed to play in weekly tournaments after you won a weekly tournament. to give people a chance. You're allowed to play in Grand Slams because that does help you somewhat. But she beat Johanna Larson, who was supposed to be one of those spoilers, right? Yeah. Nevertheless, Givoni, she won and she could go. Well, she did well in France, beating Sue and Samarova was in the Sibkova. That was her head-to-head match. It was at the French Open. Chicago, she beat Savarova, Temsavari, Kara Black, Sean Brava, and Hood Westcott. Eddie. And the Grand Ladies Tour qualifier should beat Frida James.
Quiet, please. Schiavone to serve. First game. Play.
Out.
Let's see what happens with the three-setter.
Love 15. Love 30. Fifteen 30. Fifteen 40. 30 40.
'Out.
Game. Sibylkova. First game.
All right. So before getting all the fans and check you out.
Love 15.
'Out.
15 all.
'Out.
30 15. 30 all. 40 30.
'Out.
Deuce. Advantage. Sibylkova. Game. Sibylkova. Sibylkova leads 2 games to love. First set.
Indeed.
Out.
15 love. 30 love. 40 love. 40 15. Game. Schiavone. Sibylkova leads 2 games to 1. First set.
So 2-1 through 14 minutes. We're gonna quickly go to the scoring. Did Sabakova win? From the Czech fans, the answer is no. Schiavone Kachi. She wins by a score of 4-6, 6-1, 6 Bago. So Sibakova won the first set. It was like, wow, she's going to pull off the upset and put Schiavone in a bad spot. But she couldn't win anything. She couldn't get it right out of her paper bag. I shouldn't really say that, but so it's those are Schiavone in the round of 16 because, as I said, it is important. Now, Errani also lost in 3 sets, so She still has a Sibakova still has a bit of a chance. And they are going to, well, let's see here. I think they're going to take Romanska out. Anyone out in straight sets? Well, Maddox Sands is out in straight set. Well, we have three ladies who are 6-2, 6-1, 6-love, and 3 wildcard spots left. So yeah, so Maddox Sands is out. Bad luck by Maddox Sands. Errani. So Errani, Sibakova, and Goss all have been taken out in 3 sets. Sibakova took 6-0. I think they might take Sibakova out in a sense. Yeah, there's 3 ladies, 6-0. Yeah, so Rwanska's out. Yeah, Angie Rwanska could take an out in straight set, so she's out of luck. She will not get to qualify, I think. And I think that's it for us. Oh no, Kunja's out in straight sets. Yeah, Kunja's out in straight sets. Kunja's out. Bad luck. What a hot it. She's a lot to play. Mark. Anyway, our second last match is Savarova from Czechia against the South African Sherman. Both ladies won a title to qualify for this tournament. At the Florida Open week 26, she won. She won in Tampa, beating Louise Williams, Dozer, Larson, Bunge, and Shambareva. She had to beat Angie Buxton to qualify for this stage. Savarova. She won the European Indoors week 25. Did a decent Australia Open. Maddox Simpson. She beat Ebern, Fazina, Macaroni, Maddox Sands, and Sherman. 29. She beat Ebern, James, Lawson, and Augusta Moran. But beat Pan Shui. Yeah, she beat the seed Pan Shui to get this far.
Quiet, please. Safarova to serve. First game. Play.
I love the S's. I gotta pretty much get
Out.
Love 15.
Out.
$15 all.
Out.
15-30. 15-40.
Out.
30-40.
Out.
Deuce.
Out.
Advantage, Sherman.
Out.
Deuce.
Out.
Advantage, Sherman.
Out.
She's not hot. Hey, she's a lovely lady.
Game, Sherman. First game.
Savarova.
15 love.
Out.
15 all. 15-30. 30 all. 40-30.
Out.
Game, Sherman. Sherman leads 2-love, first set. Love 15.
Out.
15 all. 15-30. 30 all.
Out.
40-30. Game, Safarova. Sherman leads 2-1, first set.
So 2-1 Sherman after 15 minutes. Let's see if she can beat the Czech player. Answer is no. Sherman had the first set. It was like, yes, she's gonna pull it off and win a trip to the Grand Ladies Tour. One problem: Savarova came alive 7-6, 6-3. So Savarova wins a trip to the Grand Ladies Tour, pleasing the hometown Praha fans. But there is good news for Sherman because she lost 6-3 in the third set, not 6-2 or 6-1 or 6-love. Because of her 6-3 score, Sherman does qualify as a wild card. Good for her. So that means 2 wild card spots are up for grabs. And Sibakova has been practically told that her 6-1, 6-love shellacking in the 2 sets she lost to Skivoni is not going to help her out. And Sibakova will be eliminated. Stadium growled. So Savarova would love to face her fellow Czech Kvitova in this thing. Kvitova will face Houghton. Kvitova's won 3 titles, 2 Grand Slams. So she won the German Open. This is how she did. At Amelia Island, she beat Rwanska but lost to Skivoni. In Orlando, she beat Macaroni but lost to Conchita. Then she beat Huber in Italia but losing to Panetta. Then in Germany, it all came clicking for her. She beat Hanchikova, although she lost the first set to her. But after that, she won 10 straight sets. She took down Hanchikova, Vinci, Stozer, Sloan, and Bunge to qualify for the tournament, for the Grand Ladies Tour qualifying tournament automatically as a weekly tournament winner. However, that didn't stop her. Well, then she was not allowed in a weekly tournament. She was allowed in Grand Slams because you boost her points for better seeding. She beat Johanna Larsson, although it took a third set 12-10 win, but lost to Maliva. At Wimbledon, she beat Yankovic, Michelle, Mirza, the Indian player, and beat Sloane Stevens. Semis, she lost to Bartoli. Then in New York, she beat Sher Larson in 30 sets. She had to take down Savarova in 3 sets, her fellow Czechia. But strange as it sounded, she won her next 8 sets in 4 matches. She beat Bunge, Kerber, Conchita, and Gurley, who was a very big surprise to make the US Open. And in essence, she actually then took 6 matches in Australia. She beat Sloane Stevens, even though lost the second set. Lost the first set to Kathy Rinaldi, but won the next 2. Swept Whittingstall, had to face Macaroni and win 16-14 in the third set. Third set tiebreak's not happening. Then beat Kara Black in the semis and Sandra Reynolds, the surprise finalist there. So Kvitova has actually won 12 matches in a row, and she's got the Praha crowd behind her. Mary Houghton won the 40th tournament, which is the tournament in New York City to qualify automatically and not have to go through the wild card sets. She beat Pudenseva, Kerber, Lindquist, and Patty Schneider to get there. She beat Kara Black, but her tour de force was the Australian Open. Was no, well, in Australia she made the quarterfinals. She beat Mugu, Buxton, and Fincy. Well, she had to go through two very long third sets against Muguruza and Fincy, but was basically running out of gas, and Sandra Reynolds ruined her. So yeah, so Houghton had to beat Kara Black. So yeah, Kvitova would like to win.
Quiet, please. Horton to serve. First game.
We'll see what
Play.
happens. Spectate 15 minutes. Right? What's our time? 30 minutes. Okay, 15 minutes. Yeah, this will be a long time, but it's
Out.
trust me.
15 love.
Out. Out.
15 all. 30-15. 40-15.
Out.
Game Horton. First game.
No.
15 love.
Out.
15 all. 30-15. 40-15.
Out.
Forty 30. Game Kvitova. One game all. First set.
Out.
15 love. 30 love. 30-15. 30 all. 40-30. Game Horton. Horton leads 2-1. First set.
Do one for Houghton.
Love 15.
Out.
15 all. 15-30. 30 all.
Out.
40-30. Game Kvitova. 2 games all. First set.
Do two after 15 minutes. All 4 games were set up by Surface Games. Did Kvitova win? The answer is, oh yeah, easy peasy lemon squeezy. 6-4, 6-2. Kvitova wins. Hudson is eliminated because of the fact that she got swept. So now it's down to Errani and Goss. And because Eleanor Goss did lose 6-2 in the third set, she will be given a wild card spot. So Eleanor Goss will get in as a wild card. Now Sara Errani's qualification actually does hinder on one thing. A lot of people said, "Oh well, that means Errani is." Wait a minute, that's 7 wild cards. You gave a wild card to Sherman. You gave me a wild card to Schneider. 1 to Ebbern. 1 to Goss. 1 to Kerber, and 1 to Tanzaveri. That's 6. And given that Bouchard was not supposed to make it to the third round, you give it to Mary Jo Fernandez, who lasts longer than Pan Shui, so that's 7. Why isn't Errani the 8th and final wild card? Well, there's one tiny little problem. Bouchard's still in the third round. She's in the round of 16. So we know it's Kvitova Savarova, Yankovic versus Ostapenko, Halep versus Jean Vareva, and then Bouchard Stevens. Now, since Bouchard qualified and she was not supposed to be in this tournament, if it was 48 ladies, she was doomed. They told Jeannie, if you beat Sloane Stevens, you get that you get a wild card. And that means Errani would be the unlucky one out. That's what they said. Bouchard wins, she's in. If not, Errani wins. Stosur will face Schiavone, Reynolds versus Moran, Cody kills Kachida, and Winston Panetta. So they said that they will make Bouchard Stevens the second last match of the round of 16. There are a couple of wildcard matches. First off, Gussie Moran beats Sandra Reynolds in 3 sets, so Gussie goes to the quarterfinals. Kachida beats Koda Kelch, so she moves on. Panetta beat Whittingstall in 3 sets, so Flavia takes on Kachida. Schiavone beats Stosur to beat Gussie Moran in the quarterfinals. Halep beats Sean Vareva 7-5-6-3. And Yankovic beats Ostapenko in straight sets. So that's big for Yankovic, Halep, Schiavone, Moran, Kachida, and Panetta. So we know Schiavone, Moran, Kachida, Panetta. None of them qualified, right? I don't think Panetta and Schiavone qualified from the 2020. No, they didn't. So one of those ladies will be at least a 8 seed, a 1 to 8 seed, and one of the ladies will be a 9 to 16 seed. Now there are 2 key matches, and Bouchard faces Sloane Stevens. Now, due to the length of this video, I was going to do the game in progress, but we will do a 10-minute time limit with Bouchard and Sloane Stevens.
Quiet, please. Bouchard
If
to
Bouchard
serve.
wins this
First
match,
game.
she sneaks
Play.
in as the 8th and final wild card and gets to the Grand Ladies Tour. If she loses, despite possible national bias from yours truly, who is Canadian, I don't play the Canadian bias card. Bouchard will lose, Errani will sneak in as a wild card. So I cannot play favorites. I have in the past, but not this time. No, sir. So we will spectate for 10 minutes, and then we'll see who wins this match.
Out.
15 love.
Out.
15 all.
Out.
15 30. 15 40. 30 40. 'Deuce. Advantage, Stevens. Deuce.
Out.
Advantage, Stevens. Game, Stevens. First game.
Oh, 7 minutes. Okay, we're not at the 10 yet.
Love, 15.
Out.
15 all.
Out.
30, 15.
Out.
40, 15. Forty, 30. Game, Stevens. Stevens leads 2 games to love. First set.
So Sloan Stevens up 2-0. I think we can kind of guess that this will be a loss for Bouchard. What? Holy crap. Bouchard got bageled, but she won 7-6, 6-4. Holy shit. The girl who was only in because the tournament had to be 56. It couldn't be 48 ladies. She was one of 8 ladies. Then Quiz Sevastova, Prunseva, Fairbank, Larson, Bickle, and Mitchell, who were not supposed to be in this tournament, but because they had to extend it to 56, she got in. She won her first round match against Peggy Michelle, a fellow spoiler. Okay, fine. Second round, she faced Muguruza, upset her, but fortunately for Muguruza, she is already qualified. And now she beats Sloane Stevens to face Simona Halep, but Bouchard beat Sloane Stevens. She was bageled 6-love. Like, dude. Maliva got bageled 6-0 in the first round against Yankovic and made it close but couldn't do it. Bunge got bageled by Temzavari in the round of 32. Cody Kilsch put a bagel on Kerber and survived in the third set. So Skivoni bageled Sibakova. But now, because Bouchard came back from a bagel, she was bageled by Sloane, but then she won the next 2 sets. So Jeannie Bouchard, because of that, actually does qualify for the Grand Ladies tournament. And poor Sara Errani will get the boot and all that. For now, there is a possibility there might be a few ladies who might get a lucky hop or 2 and all that. So we'll see what happens and all that. So regardless of that, the battle of Czechia, Kvitova, Savarova ended up being a win for Kvitova. Well, Kvitova can still qualify for a 1-16 slot in the Grand Ladies Tour thing. She beat Savarova. She lost the first set. So Kvitova was Yankovic, Halep, Bouchard, Skivoni, Moran, and Conchita Panetta. They told Jeannie Bouchard you will be in the third quarterfinal. The first quarterfinal saw Moran with a massive upset over Skivoni. So Gussie Moran is in the semifinals and guaranteed a top 16 seed no matter what. Panetta beat Conchita in the third set. So Panetta will face Moran in the semifinals. Man, Gussie Moran. Wow. Bouchard. So fairy tale continues. 4-6, 6-4, 7-6. She beats Halep and ruins her. But here's the thing. Bouchard now not only, well, Bouchard was supposed to be what they call a spoiler. She beat Michelle and then she ruined Muguruza, but it didn't matter. Muguruza was in the qualifier to qualify through the 2020 group anyway. So Yeah, but she was told she would have to beat Sloane Stevens, who I think qualified too, didn't she? Stevens? No, Sloane Stevens did not qualify. Well, Sloane Stevens qualified anyway by winning her round 16 match. So she would have to beat Sloane Stevens. And then she's told, you can qualify if you beat Sloane Stevens. And only if you beat Sloane Stevens. Otherwise, it's going to be Sara Errani who will get that 8th wildcard spot. But lo and freaking behold, Bouchard takes down Simona Halep in 3 sets. So she's in the semifinals and she gets a 1-16 seed no matter what. Or are they going to say yes? Yes, they are. They're going to say yes. She'll get the 1-16 seed. I mean, she worked for it. And Kvitova got taken out by Yankovic 6-2, 6-3. So Kvitova did double qualify, but she will not be a top 16 seed no matter what. So they'll have to decide which one to keep. In the semifinals, we have Yankovic versus Bouchard and Moran versus Panatta. Because of the seeding, Bouchard's match will go first. And Bouchard's fairy tale ends. Bouchard won the first set but lost the next 2. So Yankovic will move on to the finals of the Grand Ladies Tour qualifier against either Moran or Panatta. So Bouchard gave it a ride. I mean, she was invited as a spoiler, and now she's in the Grand Ladies Tour and is a top 16 seed guaranteed. So here's what will happen. If Panatta beats Moran, then Bouchard will get the, I think this says, it doesn't matter, is it? Or no? Yeah, Panatta beats Moran. Bouchard will get the 9-12, will get 3rd place because Bouchard beat like Simona Halep and all that. Bouchard earned her way, and Gussie Moran will get a 13-16, which isn't half bad. Nevertheless, if Panatta beats Moran, so it's Panatta, Yankovic, one of them will be 1-4, one of them will be 5-8. If Moran pulls the rabbit out of her hat, then Panatta will be 9-12, and Bouchard will be 13-16 guaranteed. And it will be Panatta who wins 7-5, 6-3. So Bouchard, out of freaking nowhere, will get a 9-12 seed. So Jay Bouchard, I think, will be number 11 or 12 seed. And unreal how she earned it. Gussie Moran, not half bad either. 13-16. That's pretty good. That's pretty good for Gussie Moran. So Gussie Moran will be 13-16. So the finalists, Yankovic or Panatta. The winner will get a top 4 seed no matter what. The loser gets 5-8. And it ends up being Panatta, 7-5, 4-6, 6-2. So Flavia Panatta, the 2 seed. And the number 1 is Kvitova, but Panatta will qualify. She is now a 1, 2, 3, or 4 seed. Yankovic, not half bad. She's a 5, 6, 7, 8 seed. Of course, we will have to determine like matchups. We might have to have some exhibitions to decide who gets in the tournament. We'll have to see what happens and all that. Like who gets like a last chance qualifier and all that to get in automatically. And that's what we have to do. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.